Thank you for joining Spirit Life Magazine. Today we are with Ann Boyd of the NAACP in McMinn County. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Laura.
One of the things we wanted to ask you is who and what is the NAACP about?
NAACP is about all people, actually. It was founded in 1909, about 111 years ago, by a group of white people that were tired of seeing black people mistreated, beaten. It came out from the Niagara Falls movement is how it started. Then it developed into the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. We've kept the colored people because that way it takes in an array of people. People come in all colors. So our NAACP, we feel like if we keep that name, it is an organization for all people. People tend to think of it as a place you can go to get your something done or justice. It is about justice, but it's about justice in all walks of life. We deal with educational justice, health disparities, legal disparities, community involvement, education, making sure that our kids receive an equal education, which is one of the first big suits that we
absolutely.
Thurgood Marshall.
Yes.
A whole bunch of people worked on that, Brown versus Board of Education.
Very popular case. Yes.
So, you know, we continue in those issues of civil rights, but we also expand into other
arenas as well.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, you know, for this particular culture now, you know, as you said, the NAACP is not a new organization. It's 111 years old. Today, a lot of our younger people, the younger generation, are saying, you know, well, is the NAACP still relevant for us today? I mean, why would we, you know, utilize the NAACP or even support the NAACP in the efforts that you just named?
Because the NAACP has such a long and historic and very solid background, and especially now since we have our new president, been just jealous.
Yes.
That is on board, our CEO. His thoughts are that we become modern. We become up to date with all of our young people. We get the information to the people that they need to hear. We deal with laws that are put on the book. We talk to our congressmen, our senators, our legislators, the president, making sure that they know what our issues are. So if any new bills come out, we're either pushing those bills or trying to get those bills killed if it deals with something that has a negative impact on our community, on our people. People in general, as a whole. Yes.
I know one of the things, you know, I have a daughter that's 12 years old, and she was like, I've never heard of the NAACP, and I about died, you know, being in my household, you know, and so you're saying to yourself, okay, we have these young children, and, you know, once I began to explain to her what the NAACP is about and their history, of course, my children were like, well, we want to be involved. Is there a place for young people to be involved in the NAACP?
Yes, we have our youth and college division, which is huge. And I have to say, though, in McMinn County, we haven't had the opportunity to really push that part of our branch. But that is one of my goals, is to get our youth more involved, first of all, in the community, in the church. In the NAACP, we all work together to become one force. And, you know, education is important. The NAACP is one of the large civil rights groups that pushes legislation that deals with education, making sure that we have strong teachers, good teachers. It's not enough for a teacher just to be there for 10, 20 years and not be an effective teacher and not give our kids the education that they need.
Now, one of the things I didn't realize that there's a lot of different organizations within the schools. One of the things that I haven't seen is the NAACP inside the schools. Now, is there a reason why the NAACP hasn't engaged the schools, or maybe the state is not allowing the NAACP to engage the schools?
Good question. It's probably resources, more or less, but because we are a tax-exempt organization, we cannot be what am I saying? Politically, we cannot take sides. But as far as being in the schools, we do programs in the school. On occasion, if we get asked, or if we we have to attend school boards, to find out what's going on. We don't always do that, but
Yes.
it is a way that we can find out, get to our kids and figure out what they need,
Okay.
what kind of teachers they have, what kind of decisions the school boards are making both in the city and county.
Yes, yes.
And there's also opportunity to volunteer, encourage our members, our community to volunteer in our schools so that they see what's going on. I think for us as Black people, we don't always become involved as much as we should in our schools.
Great. I love that because I think that we really do need to get more involved in our schools,
Right.
Especially in the McMinn County area. I find that a lot of the African American children, there's not so many of our organizations that are engaging our children, so it'd be
Right.
a wonderful opportunity for the NAACP.
I definitely agree. So
And
that sounds like an opportunity that you and I need to talk more about,
Yes,
so
and
that
we
we
will
can
definitely
get
do that.
involved and do
Absolutely,
programs.
absolutely.
But I have been asked since being president a couple of times to come and do a program at the Calhoun School, maybe here and there, and to represent, just to talk about the NAACP. And like I said, our membership is a little bit small right now, so if you're working and
Yeah.
other people are working, there isn't that opportunity to always get where you want to be.
How do you think the mindset of the NAACP as far as the African American community? I know during the past we've worked with, being depraved of, our civil rights and things like that. And so today's society, it seems like we're struggling still with people that are still trapped in the 60s, as I like to say,
Right.
and have not moved forward we're now in 2011. I mean, I remember doing papers in school and said, what would it be like in the year 2000?
2000,
And here we are. We're
already
flying
11
cars. And so here we are. We're in 2011. And we still have the NAACP organization. Do you
Right.
think that we have advanced as a people?
As a people, we have advanced, but then as a people, sometimes we tend to stay the same. Some things change, some things don't change. And then it feels like, I don't know about you, but in the last couple of years, some people's minds and thoughts have regressed back to the 60s.
Yes.
We don't need those people in there.
Yes.
And that's become a big issue. That's one of the reasons why the NAACP is still alive, still active. It may not be, it is still the same NAACP as it was
Yes.
that many years ago, but like I said earlier, we've added to our causes what we fight against. And equal opportunity is still one of our biggest reasons why we're here.
That's a great place to start to ask my next question. One of the things that I found in the African American community is that most of them, I won't say everyone, but most of them have a felony conviction.
Right.
And it's very difficult for African Americans to achieve or advance in their chosen profession that they decided to walk in, whether it be medicine or whatever it is they've chosen to do. What does the NAACP, if anything, think about that at all?
Well, there's legislation that the NAACP has been able to push. It's HR something, I was just looking at it earlier, but that's one of the pieces of legislation that says because someone has been convicted of a crime, as we know, a huge percentage of the prisoners are African Americans,
Yes.
they're Latinos, but when they get out of prison, what happens to them? They can't get a job because of that record. But one of the pieces of legislation that we pushed is a bill that says that even though you're a criminal, you should be able to either get that work with that record,
Yes.
or get some kind of rehabilitation that will allow you to train for a different job and go into your profession. That crime doesn't follow you.
Yes.
If you choose,
Right.
not to
And
go
I,
into
and I know that
crime
there are
again.
several, people that I know personally that, I know that have done a major change in their life. I mean,
Right.
from drug dealer to, straight lace, literally. But one of the things I see that they battle against is that, this career,
record.
this record
Mhm.
follows them. And even though to me, they would make the perfect lawyer,
Right.
because they understand that. But because of their record, it's like you
They
can't
move
you
forward.
can't take the bar exam, you can't do these things. And so how can we as a community expect them to actually be positively changed when we can't actually work towards,
Well,
moving
that's
them
how
forward?
we as a community can contact our representatives, our senators. Do as much as you can. Our NAACP website has legislation on there, and it says, this is how you can help. You click on that link, and they send out information all the time to members. It says, contact your senator. And the information is already set. It has your senators in Tennessee.
So it's prepared for them. It's prepared.
District representative is prepared for us. If they get enough complaints from the community, their constituents, they're going to have to do something to get those bills passed.
Well, we're going to take a break with Spirit of Life magazine, and we'll be back with Ann Boyd of the NAACP.